The more eccentric naturalists and biologists in the Covenant of Enlightened say that nature is a living thing in perfect balance. But even they scoff at the notion that such harmony has only been reached through the influence of the ancient force known by the warrior nation as the Great Spirit. For the Wyldborne, they too dismiss notions of such fanciful and comforting deities. For the real power of nature is the wild, worshipped in its own right in past centuries, and can be found in the roots of more sanitized religions. The Wyldborne keep the old ways and are rewarded with untamed power to those who hold true. In the settlement that would become Spearfish, South Dakota, Dorothy Good was raised in the old lore along with her sister, Mercy. Her mother would have had it no other way and rebuked attempts by the settlers to educate or civilize her family. When Dorothy was of age, she began to listen to the wild in the forest. As the dense forests willed her to, Dorothy laced the family soup with the fungi she had foraged the previous night. All of them fell deathly ill, and as promised, her parents quickly succumbed to the toxins. But for Dorothy and her sister, they awoke changed. Now the forest speaks to her every night. The Shadow War has begun, and the wild has such plans for the Wyldborne. The Barrow Witch Mercy Good might be the older sister, but she lacks the temperament to lead the Wyldborne. Mercy is all aggression and primal fury. She revels in murder and bloodshed wherever it might find release. Only the call of the wild compels her to serve alongside her sister, though the same voices that drive Dorothy to plot and scheme do nothing but fuel Mercy's rage. The serpent's blood and Nadrigiel visited the good home the night after her parents died. Nature wastes nothing. Once the reptiles had fed, the sacrifice Dorothy had made to the wild bound the snakes to her service. The great viper blood has become virtually inseparable from Dorothy, while his sister Nadrigiel, mirroring Dorothy's relationship with her own sister, prefers to hunt independently and alone. Even so, at a glance, Blood and Nadrigiel know when their mistress needs them to hunt down and hold someone fast, and when to feed. The centaur-like Loren is a Knuckleavy. These mythical creatures have a rapacious hunger which causes them to hunt deer and other prey in the deep forests. Stepping between shadows and preferring to hunt by moonlight, Loren is nonetheless a capable member of the Wyldborne. Strong and perceptive, Loren understands the power of the wild all too well. As long as her voracious appetites are sated, she can be relied upon to fearlessly attempt any task that Dorothy Good may require of her in the Shadow War. It was the wild that brought the bestial Carcosa into the world, screaming with umbrage at the blasphemy of man. One of this twisted breed, Cernous was an avatar of the wild, known as the Goat. He stalked the shadowy forests of the Dakotas for centuries before finally being slain by the shaman Raven Spirit in 1831. Half a century later, Cernous rises as a ghastly wraith, waxing strong as the wild is nourished by the millions dead from the Ore War. Cernous is a terrifying amalgam of beast and nightmare, and judges that of all muling humanity, only the good sisters are worthy enough to live. Dorothy has begun to gather her Wyldborne. Cernous answers the call.